We're going to be dividing decimal numbers by decimals today, and we're going to start with this first example, which is 54 and 4/10 divided by 1 and 7/10. Our 54 and 4/10 is going to be our dividend, so we will write it inside of our little division symbol here. 1 and 7/10 will go on the outside. It is the divisor. Whenever we're dividing decimals, we must have a whole number divisor. So to make 1 and 7/10 a whole number, we're going to multiply. And we will multiply this by 10. And that allows our decimal point to move one place to the right. But if we multiply our divisor by 10, we need to do the same thing with our dividend. So we'll multiply it by 10 and our decimal point will go one place to the right. We've rewritten this problem. We have 544 divided by 17. It's equivalent to our original problem. Okay, now we're ready to do our division. We're going to divide 544 by 17. 5 can't be divided by 17, but 54 can be divided by 17. It will go in 3 times. We get 51. We'll subtract and bring down our 4. 34 divided by 17 is 2. And we end up with a remainder of 0, so we are all set. So we find that the quotient of 54 and 4/10 divided by 1 and 7/10 is 32. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take a look at our next problem. Here we have 8 and 424 thousandths divided by 36 hundredths. Again, we have the same situation where we have a divisor that's a decimal and we need to make it into a whole number. So we will move our decimal point 2 places to the right, which is the same as multiplying by 100. And when we do that, of course, we have to multiply our dividend by 100 as well, which allows the decimal point to move 2 places to the right, and our decimal point is now between the 2 and the 4. Okay, we've rewritten the problem, and we have 842 and 4/10 divided by 36. I need to move my decimal point up. I'm going to put it up on my quotient line. Just move it straight up, just like we did when we divided a decimal by a whole number. And we're ready to start the division process. 8 is not divisible by 36. 84 is. 36 goes into 84 twice. I'll bring down my 2. 36 will go into 122 3 times. I'll subtract, bring down my 4, and 36 will go into 144 4 times exactly, and I will have a remainder of 0. So I find that my quotient for 8 and 424 thousandths divided by 36 hundredths is 23 and 4/10. All right, our next problem, we have 8 and 1/10 divided by 54 thousandths. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do this next problem. 8 and 1/10 divided by 54 thousandths. Now I need to have a whole number divisor, so I am going to be multiplying by 1,000. And when I multiply by 1,000, my decimal point is going to travel 1, 2, 3 places to the right. It has to do the same, of course, in my dividend, and it's going to go 1, 2, 3 places to the right. But you'll notice that I have 2 blank spots. Well, those empty spots are going to be filled with zeros. So let's write this problem so that's a little easier to read. We have 8,100 divided by 54. 54 will go into 81 one time. I'll bring down my 0. 270 divided by 54 is 5. And it fits in exactly, but I still have a 0 here. I can't just stop. I need to ask myself, how many times will 54 go into 0? Well, we all know that's 0. And now I am finished. So my quotient is 150. All right, now we have our last problem. We are looking at 52 thousandths divided by 1 3/10. So again, we will write 52 thousandths inside because it is our dividend, and 1 3/10 on the outside because it is our divisor. I just want to say, as we look at this problem, this is a wonderful example of a larger number being on the outside and a smaller number being on the inside. So if you have somewhere trapped in your memory that the big number must always go on the inside, please try to erase that, because we can have a smaller number as a dividend. So again, we have the same situation. We need to have a whole number divisor. So we're going to move our decimal point over one place to the right, and we'll move the decimal point in our dividend over one place to the right as well. It'll now be between the 0 and the 5. So let's take a look at this problem. When we write it now as 13 as our divisor and 52 hundredths as our dividend. 0 cannot be divided by 13. My decimal point comes straight up. 5 can't be divided by 13. However, 52 can be divided by 13 4 times, exactly 4 times. So we'll subtract. We have a remainder of 0, and we have a quotient now of 4 hundredths.